I'm not his keeper.
But hopefully we'll just come back together.
You are for things like this.
Yeah, it's kind of by chance.
Oh.
Right now, it's like
You're streaming?
yeah, like you can totally do that. You can totally like delete DNA, like or delete and add, copy paste. That's like very huge. Here's the like you know, I'm already feeling the shoes down. That's the argument. Yesterday.
With no windows in it. Do you want me to crank you down a little bit?
No, I'm just pessimistic. I believe it has been approved by an ethics. Like, like I said, I'm just not hiding in the corner.
I guess like
Doing what?
alrighty.
Okay, but I think the
Time like shit, I gotta go. I left like 15 minutes ago.
then you can be like, oh,
Are you gonna be monitoring
Hello,
questions?
friends. Can you hear us?
Just live stream. Yeah. That's how the rest of my messengers are.
Yeah, I'm like looking here. I see Chaz. I see someone named Makam Mokamori. I have no idea who you are. I have Joseph Bell, Leslie Mendoza.
they might be smart.
Hi, guys.
So you're gonna monitor the chat?
Okay, fine. Oh, run, Sean.
Yeah.
Run.
That's so weird.
We gotta run.
Alright, it's 11. Are we good to get started? Yep. Alright. Cool.
How's your birthday? I remember it. What if we could change it like live stream to love streaming? Alright, fine. We're love streaming. We're love streaming.
That's not my question. Hey, Josh.
Here we go. It's working. That's a picture of my first gotten out here. It is working.
You can watch this. Oh, you are? Oh, party. Okay, well then, grab a seat.
I saw it on Netflix, so I remember that, but it was like super hypothetical.
Is Alex Bello here?
Oh, puppies.
Oh my god, it's a puppy.
Did you get the office someone sent?
Is Alex Bello here? Okay, Chaz wanted to say hi.
Oh, okay.
Right now we do have sex.
Okay, guys, come on in. It's 11. Let's get started. Oh, look, there's me. Yeah. I feel like I'm lagging.
You're lagging by about 5 seconds on the screen, so don't worry.
Okay, got it. Alright. Marissa knows it. Marissa, what's the guest password? The Wi-Fi?
Give me a second.
Yeah, basically. So you can for sure know that you're going to have more.
It's AX-guest, capital A, capital X, no spaces, capital G.
People are doing.
So, AX-guest.
Yes. Cool. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, guys, thank you for coming on this Saturday morning. I know it's 11 and some of you are tired, but I appreciate all of you guys being here. The focus of today is to go over the deadlines, questions you have, things that we're going to be rolling out, as well as any other tidbits of information that come up. So like as my other is over there. But first, Jerome wanted to make a message to you guys.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Jerome Gage. As of right now, I'm on the membership committee, which I guess, I'm not sure if you know what that is, but we're just the committee responsible for really making the voice of the members of the SBJA heard. Members are you guys who work hard, stay with the con for like a period of time and stuff like that. And pretty much I'm here today because we're in a bit of a situation. One of our members recently became ineligible to serve because one of the requirements is like, you're not allowed to have a paid position, or you need to be with the SBJ for a certain period of time and stuff like that. But the point is, right now we're short one member, and the only way to get on the membership committee is by an election, which we hold in November. But we don't want to wait that long. Right now we need sort of an emergency appointee, so I'm here to come to you guys to say if anyone's interested in joining the membership committee, please come talk to me, because we're just going to do probably with the rest of the committee, myself, Josh Durong, and Philip Ferrendo, we're just going to have kind of an interview or something like that, and recruit you on in an interim basis. That means you're going to be serving through the rest of the term, and then we're just going to have a re-election, probably sometime in November. Pretty much what we hope to do is kind of try and figure out what us as membership committee want to do, what we want to evolve into, because we haven't really had a really concrete agenda up until recent months. But then, we've lost a member, so we kind of stopped trying to plan, because we want a full set of minds to talk and discuss before we kind of plan things, putting the cart ahead of the horse. So if anyone's interested in that, come talk to me at the end of this meeting, and I'll get your information, and then we'll try and set something up via Skype, Facebook, phone call, and we'll kind of talk about what you can contribute to our team and what ideas you have for the future of MEMCOM. Any quick questions before the
What are the requirements?
Right now the requirements are you need to serve 1 year as a manager, or 4 or 5 years as 5 years as a non-manager. I'm coming straight to the management because just obviously it's really easier to serve 1 year than 5, so there's way more rare that people, and also you guys are way more involved in the Expo, and we really want a kind of a veteran staffer who has experienced a lot, kind of knows the ins and outs, and has made it part of their job to meet with other people and talk with other members, which you need to do as managers. You need to know your staff. And so if you think that you have something to contribute, please come talk to me. Any other questions?
People online who can't easily go talk to you, is there a contact email I can give them?
Yes, memcom at sbja.org.
Yeah. And then
Or you can reach, I'm sorry. Oh, and also you could contact my personal email as well. I think you can just find me on Shiftboard. My name is Jerome Gage. You can email me personally, text me, whatever. I think my phone number is up on there as well. I'm really open. Please add me on Facebook, whatever. I don't really care.
Sorry, I'm not sure what you said.
Siri's interested, I think. You were going to say something?
What are the time commitments? So I'm pretty sure that's okay.
Oh, you can. Well, first of all, you can totally. This is not leaving your current job. I'm not going to take away a department's manager. You can totally do this alongside of MEMCOM. We meet at most twice a month, over Skype, and try to discuss things. And as we get closer to con, the meetings will become more. Okay, the time commitments are kind of up in the air because we understand that con is approaching, and it's not a lot. It's maybe 2-3 hours a month at most. During con, we definitely want to sit down because that's going to be the one time that all the potential members are at con, and that's when we can actually reach out and actually talk to people, because we really want to grow our membership. Membership are the people that vote on elections, and we want a huge diverse. We don't want just one department participating.
So what do you guys do again?
So the MEMCOM is in charge of voting in the board of directors and revising the bylaws, updating, adding rules and stuff, and all that's done through an election process. And we're also kind of in charge of representing the voice of the members. The committee themselves, we decide what goes to the vote, specifically on the bylaws. We're also in charge of doing a first layer of screening for board of director candidates. So, not anyone can just jump on the ballot, so we do interviews for that. So it requires the kind of mind that can, read a person and say, is this person going to be helpful, or are they're just in it for the resume material? Any other questions? So we're kind of just really involved with the board of directors, mostly, kind of overseeing them in a way, also the bylaws and the health of the organization. From a volunteer standpoint, yes? Oh, well, my email is ALITO_ memcrest@yahoo.com. Memcom's email is memcom@spja.org.
You said it requires at least 1 year as a manager. Does that count if this is your first year?
If this is your first year as a manager, then you won't meet that requirement. You'd have to meet the 5 years requirement as a volunteer.
I have a question from the online group. They're asking, so MEMCOM is the same or different from the SPJA membership?
MEMCOM, we represent the membership. So the the membership is the voting body. MEMCOM is sort of the people that organize the ballot information, what goes on the ballot. And we, I guess, think of us as the union leaders. Membership represents the totality of the union, and the MEMCOM, we're the committee that kind of represents the interests of the union. I really don't like to use the word union, but that is everyone understands that.
Do you guys understand the flow of why there's MEMCOM to the board, to the employees? Do y'all get it? It's a circle. Okay, cool.
It's a checks and balances system.
Yeah, yes, bureaucracy. Except bureaucracy is when people aren't voted in. We are actually voted in. Yes.
Does that mean that MEMCOM is in charge of making sure that the board adheres to the bylaws?
So if we do not believe that the board is adhering to the bylaws, we can contact legal and ask them, hey, can that person do that? That's not okay. And pretty much that will ensure that that person either gets removed during the next election, or we have sort of the powers to, kind of pressure the rest of the board members to remove that member on the board. So we have the power. We have kind of the power and responsibility to keep the board of directors in check. But that requires, a kind of paying it. Like every month there's a board of director meeting in which they talk about what they're planning and what they're doing. It's kind of important for MEMCOM to jump in there and listen to those meetings to make sure, that they're doing things in the best interest of the con. So yes, but that is one of our responsibilities. So, keeping keeping a watchful eye on the board is one of our things. But I'm not suggesting the board is always up to shenanigans. That's not, this is, they're not evil. These are not evil people. No, but this is one of our responsibilities. In the same way that HR is kind of in charge of making sure you guys are being nice and stuff like that.
Be nice. That's a nice way of putting it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, another question from online. Does a person have to be a current volunteer to be on MEMCOM? Can a previous staffer be on MEMCOM?
So, another one of the is that you had been a part of the SPJA, a non-employee, within the past year. So that while that person may be eligible leading up to con, as soon as con hits, that person will become ineligible. So it's important to keep your status with the what's it called? What I'm saying is you can't skip a year and expect to be part of MEMCOM.
Basically, you had to have worked 2016 to go.
Yes.
Because we didn't have con, so we only had one SPJ with that.
Right.
Okay, so does this mean you can't have skipped 2016, but you can skip 2017?
So, if I remember correctly, it has to be a full year. So, if you're going to be on a membership committee as a manager, that means, let's say if you became a manager today on May 6, 2017, then you become eligible May 6, 2018, right? And then same thing if you were volunteering, it has to be 5 years. That one seems to be more based off of the roster year, so it's more like 5 years from, whatever year you started. So you would be eligible for this year if you started in, 2012?
Well, yes, math
Right.
is hard. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Wait, did I do that right?
So actually 2016 was going to
13,
be
14,
eligible
15,
if you're starting
17.
with 2012, because it'd be 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 2016 would have been when you're eligible.
So
Last year was my fifth year, so I know.
the
Okay,
bylaws,
perfect. There we go.
the bylaws has very specific language, and I do not have that in front of me. but
It
feel
does say
free.
you have to participate in at least one event in the past year that the SPJ has done.
Right. Yes, very, like I said, very, very specifically into it, but I don't have the bylaws in front of me. But also, people who are kind of in the gray area, we would just shoot that to legal and ask. That's honestly. But if you are uncertain but are interested, I would encourage you to apply. Nonetheless, and then. But the thing is, one interesting thing is that we're sort of in charge of revising the bylaws. So at some point, we may be interested in reviewing what it takes to be a member, because I know 5 years is a long time, right? So please, or even if you are, you just have your voice heard. If you're ineligible, have your voice heard, and then maybe other people might agree, and then we can really move forward on the ballot. So you can become eligible next year if you aren't this year.
The people online like your hand gestures.
This is my nervous hand gesture.
Don't tell your tell.
Yeah. If I'm playing poker and I'm
You
like,
messed up, Jerome.
go ahead.
Rule number 1, never tell your tell.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm just subconscious about it. Now I'm switching it.
Do you guys have any
But
other
they
questions
liked
for
it.
Jerome?
Who else is currently a membership of, or who else is currently MEMCOM?
MEMCOM is myself, Josh Garong, and Philip Florendo. Philip Florendo, he's access control. I don't think he's a manager, but he's on access control. Josh Garong, I'm never really sure what he did, but I know he's GR related.
I think he's in quality control
this year.
Quality control this year, and I'm a manager of accounting.
And I have a question from online. Can anybody receive a copy of what the bylaws for review? How would one request them?
The bylaws for, right now we don't have the bylaws for review, but we have the bylaws. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, this is
You
from
can-
Marcus Chavez, GR Liaisons.
Yes. Yes, so you can totally email MEMCOM and we can tell you where to find the bylaws.
Question.
Yes.
Are there any rules against how many representation of a single department within MEMCOM?
No. No. I'm coming here because I do know people, but I want to expand outside my circle. You know what I mean? I don't think we have anyone really in entertainment, and I think that's a very important part of people's voices, what they see from their perspective, and what changes can be made. So ideally, I don't want to do any favoritism, but hey, if you're in the entertainment part, I'd love you, because right now, obviously we have finance, we have Philip, he's in access control, and Josh, he's been it's quality assurance, but I'm not really sure what umbrella, but
That's ops. So pretty much you have
yeah.
finance and operations. There's no one in entertainment, marketing, industry relations, or human resources.
Human resources would be great as well.
So, other questions? No? Alright.
All right, cool.
Thank you, Jerome.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day, everyone.
We're clapping. Come on. Alright, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the deadlines, and then I'm going to go over some of the things that VR has released recently, and just kind of walk you through the process of what we're doing within this coming month. So first thing first, hotels, since that's the biggest one. Here are my dates for the hotels. Everyone got their announcement last night? Yeah? Okay, so for everybody who received announcements, those are people who are currently in your distro list, right? Not in the wait list. The way we're looking at it is that I can't put anybody who's in the distro list if they haven't completed their background check primarily. And so I don't want to release hotels to them without that information being complete. Now, if you have people who are in your wait list who are complete, that's something that we're going to talk about the department caps that came up, and I'm going to go over that with you guys as well as to what our next steps for that will be. Because this is actually the first year that I've had to cap based off of resources. I have 1,700 hotel spots, and I had 1,966 people apply to be a 40-hour volunteer this year.
Not just apply, get onboarded.
Onboarded, did all of their stuff or started to do all of their requirements. So, it was crazy. So, anyways, going to hotels, May 7th at noon is going to be when your guys' roster extension deadline ends. So, hopefully you guys received either information from your division manager or you emailed your division manager asking about your department cap. If you guys don't know that information, please come find me at the end and I can tell you guys what your cap is, or so telling you whether either you're already at your cap or whether you have additional spaces to fill. Okay? May 8th at 7 p.m. is when I'm going to be releasing your guys' hotel block. You guys received your procedure of how to book your hotel rooms, correct? Yes? If not, I will be sending it out again on May 7th, so that way everybody has it. Because on May 7th, once your guys' rosters come in, I'm going to be truing up the list, right? So if departments that were capped didn't meet their quota, then I'm going to be releasing those spots back to everybody else.
Question from online. So if background checks are still processing, they don't have this information.
The hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the point. They'll be receiving that information when everything's complete. My biggest concern of that is, let's say somebody does a background check and they red light. I've now given them information that's going to be one person inside the hotel, right, that can't attend, which now took a spot from someone else, right? So once they're onboarded, they've been greenlit, they've done their YPP, we'll move them over, we'll be sending them the exact same information as everybody else has, so that way they can participate as well. Okay?
What happens if they're still being processed by May 7th?
For the roster deadline?
I think for hotel information.
For hotel or for background check?
Background check.
For background check, they'll be sitting in your guys' wait list, but they'll be waiting for if anybody drops. So they'll be your backfill. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to keep going. So your guys' hotel block will open. Then May 12th will be the co-ed email confirmations. So if anybody signs up for a co-ed hotel room, I only need one person to do it for each group. Ideally, it should be the person who is going to put down their credit card for the hotel, right? Because I'm going to be sending that list over to Par Avion, who will be then talking to the Westin about who will be calling to reserve their hotel rooms. Okay? Yes?
Do you know if they take money off the card immediately, or do you know when they take money off the card?
It would probably be standard for when you book a hotel room, so...
It varies, because when I do it through Expedia, they charge you immediately, but if I go straight to the hotel, they actually charge you at, like, what, checkout, I think? Yeah. So
usually there's a deposit, though, correct?
Yeah, but I'm not worried about the deposit. It's at 5 days.
Oh,
like
the full
$1,000.
payment. Yeah, no, so for the full payment, it'll be after you check out, right? Because if you think about how hotels run their business, they charge you a deposit fee, correct?
Yeah.
Right? And then you get to the hotel if you didn't cancel. Then you stay your room nights or whatever, and then they give you your confirmation plus your remaining balance. Then you pay that balance.
Okay.
So you would be paying your full balance or whatever's due by July 4th.
Okay, good. So
Yeah, it wouldn't be all at once, like, here, hotel, take all my money.
Yeah.
For the record, the Westin hotel rooms are $119 a night. So if you're thinking about tax plus gratuity, the number that I shot you guys earlier in the year of it being $140 roughly a night is accurate.
Gratuity?
Yeah, tax and gratuity. So LA likes to charge tax and gratuity for their hotel rooms and resort fees. So resort fees, I think in LA are $35 per day.
Wait, you said gratuity? Oh, no.
If you read hotel fine print, like, they kind of put all this stuff in there, and it's like, oh yeah, this is for, like, if you did, like, room service, so they put tax and gratuity together, right, because the tax off the hotel room, and then if you did room service or anything else, that's your estimated.
I have 3 questions from online.
Yeah.
How much will the full payment for the room be for co-ed rooms? I think I answered that one.
Okay.
For co-ed, do they have to buy their own rooms? Yes.
Yes.
In terms of the roster deadline, what happens if a volunteer hasn't been greenlit by the end of the deadline?
We answered that one already.
We think we answered that one. And if we are paying, are we still required to have 4 staffers? Clarification question.
So if you're paying, are you still required to have 4 staffers? No. Right. Ideally, you should do 4 because that's what's going to give you your 100% reimbursement. But let's say you had 4 people in your room and then 1 person dropped, right? So now you have 3 people, you'll be reimbursed 75%. Yes.
Are you allowed to have like 3 staffers and a attendee in one of those rooms?
I can't control that.
Okay. But if somebody wants to do that, they can.
I can't control that.
Okay.
But that would still be only 75% reimbursement.
If you look, yes, because if you look at the hotel form, it's going to ask you for each person's name and their initial, and I'm going to check that against Shiftboard. So if you said, okay, I've got a friend, VR won't know, I'm going to put my friend in this hotel room, well, your friend can't be reimbursed by me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the incidental holds are? How much?
For the Westin, no, not off the top of my head. Each hotel is different, and I'm working with 4 hotels this year, so...
So volunteers who aren't greenlit on the background check by May 7th aren't allowed to be on your official team anymore, so they can only join if another member drops?
Yes. Technically, the roster deadline was May 1st. Yeah, Ezra.
Okay, just because so for us, access control, we didn't hit our cap.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have some people that are still undergoing their background check and whatnot. So even though we didn't hit our cap, if once May 7th passes, we still have to have people drop from our actual roster before we can add the people on our wait list that are that complete the background check.
Or your cap? Your cap is
300.
Your cap is 270.
Really?
Yes.
I rolled 300. Okay.
Oh. Yeah, no, the list that I sent over to your division manager, your cap is 270.
Okay. Well, we still didn't even hit that.
You may hit it
yeah,
with
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little more comforting then.
Yeah. So, huh?
My question.
Am I being videotaped?
Yes.
Why?
Because Jason's not here, I want him to be able to see it's like
I've got
There's
a
a live stream.
he's in the car. He's driving here. I'm just trying to.
Can I
turn it
have
off?
permission first, please, before you just do that? It's nice courtesy. That's all I'm asking. But sure, go ahead.
We can discuss it later.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Anyway, so my department cap was 15. I have 12 on staff, 2 which are waitlisted. Trying to understand, and also the 2 that were waitlisted signed up well before others who got green lit. Everyone's had their paperwork filled out. So I guess the question is, could you please explain?
Yeah, and I explained it to you in the phone call too, correct? So what we're doing is that we have 1,700 spots. So I have 1,700 hotel rooms, correct? So 1,700 spaces, right? Against 4 hotels. So you guys are at the Radisson, you're at the Westin, you're at the Freehand, and you're at the UC dorms. So I'm dividing you guys up. Co-ed rooms are only at the Westin this year, okay? So from the number that I have of 1,700 that I'm allotted, you guys onboarded 1,966 people. I don't have room for 1,966 people.
Right, that part I understood.
Okay.
I guess where I'm at now is 2 of my people that were waitlisted, they were like the first people who got their paperwork in order and all that. So I guess my question is, how were people chosen as to who was going to be bumped to the wait list?
So how it was chosen was your guys' rosters came in on May 1st, right? From there, I started moving people over, and we started to true up the list of who came in on May 1st, right, with everything done. Then from there, I took your guys' numbers of what you had, went to your division managers, asked what your ideal number would be, right? From there, came up with that number. Everybody's ideal number got me to 1966, which means if you guys were going off of your division manager's ideal number, or whatever you guys had for your own internal cap, that got me to that number. So then from there, I had to go through and then decide how many people to divvy up between all, 60 departments that there are? And that's how I got my numbers for my caps.
Don't think it answered my question. But
You asked me how I got there.
Well,
That's how I got there.
I was asking how were certain people chosen? For example, 2 of the people that are on the wait list are the people who signed up very early.
Well, I can answer you that part. Even if they completed their paperwork early, it depended on when their background check was finalized. Some people, even if they got it done earlier, it didn't come back until recently.
Mind you, okay, go ahead.
The background check can take anywhere from 7 days to 30 days. So it's not on us. It's on NCSI.
And if they're international at any point in time, it can take up to 45 days. And then on top of that, if NCSI has any questions for you guys, they reach out to you guys. They don't reach out to us. I can't communicate with them on that level. It's from you guys, from the company, as in NCSI, to you guys. And so I've got notifications from people saying it's incomplete due to nobody responding. There's nothing I can do about that.
Okay.
Questions about anything that was just discussed? No? Okay. Questions about the first couple dates that I've gone over? No? Okay. So May 22nd, the staff hotel block closes. This is because June 1st, I have to actually give all of these rosters, so all of the hotels with everybody who's rooming, over to Par Avion, our company, to then submit to the hotels. And then I have to wait for them to input that information and then give me those lists back and then check it to make sure everybody got what they wanted. So that way when you guys go and check in, it's all good and gravy. Okay? So, and then if that's the 1st, then July 4th through the 31st, that would be when you guys are going to be submitting your reimbursement forms. The 31st is because that's when we need to work on closing our books internally for that month. So I just need you guys to be able to submit your hotel receipts, not the confirmation. We had a lot of people do that like the first year that we started doing the reimbursements. I need it to actually have the monetary value on the receipt. right, along with the person who paid for it. Okay? Yeah.
So that would be like the receipt that you got when you checked out at the desk.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it has to be that one. If somebody does submit a receipt that doesn't have the monetary value, then what happens is VR has to, email that person and say, hey, we need you to submit this receipt, please. Please let us know when it's done. And then sometimes it's a back and forth, and it's like a waiting game. Ideally, the quicker it's responded to, if there is the back and forth, the quicker you can get your check. Okay? Because for July 4th through the 31st, as I receive these, what I do is I go into Shiftboard and look to make sure the hours are completed, that they didn't actually drop. I pull out the information of where we need to be sending the check, so the address, and then I submit all that over to finance.
Would it be easier to send, to just get a printout and give it to you, or have them email it to us and then we just forward it to you?
For your people, as in like you guys would
As
just
in-
collect all the receipts, because we have it on Shiftboard. We have the documents tab, and it has the hotel like PRF space for you to upload the reimbursement form and the receipt. And then what I do is I just run a report of everybody who's used that file, and then I just start pulling the reports from there. So that way I can just do it like a week at a time. Questions about hotels?
So you'll need to submit the reimbursement form and that final checkout receipt.
Yes.
And the reimbursement form is currently on one of the emails you sent us, or
It's on one of the emails that I sent out, and then I'm gonna be sending it out again. So you guys will get the same information again probably on the 8th in the morning, because it's gonna take me some time to make sure that I've moved people over, right? And so everyone will receive that information before 7 o'clock. So my goal for myself is to get it to you guys around like 11 or so. And then you guys will also have it on Shiftboard, and I'm gonna make you guys like a nice little one sheet of all the different links that you guys will need, so you guys can just have that, and you can just click on the links to get the forms that you need. Okay? And then for the form is just one form. I didn't do two for like, I don't want to cause confusion. So there's actually a checkbox. So it's either the Westin or it's another hotel, right? So if you stayed at like, if you Airbnb and beat it, right? Then you could just put like, oh, you check off other hotels, state that it was Airbnb, and then fill out the form. But if it was co-ed, check off Westin, and then you just fill out the form. Questions?
I know some people might be, for clarification, just to remind, if you're not in the Westin, it's not a percentage, it's a dollar amount versus a percentage, correct? If you're in a hotel that is not the Westin,
Yes.
you're not getting comped 25%, you're getting comped what, 25 a night?
It's $25 a night for up to 4 nights, unless you had to either come in early or stay late, but that needs to have some kind of approval from your division manager.
And that's per person.
Yes. Because we don't know if you guys are coming in early. Like, I'll know you guys are coming in early based off of which badges I need to prep, right? But trying to remember that many names is almost impossible, right? So if you guys can just say like, oh hey, like I came in on day -2, your division manager goes like, oh yeah, they were setting up this department. Okay, cool. So we'll start reimbursing from day -2 instead of day 0. Other questions about hotels? Feedback wise, did you guys like the procedure for it? Does it make sense? Yeah, is it smooth?
As long as we don't have to pay all the cash up front.
You don't.
I'm
The
just
only
really
that would
glad
be
you
a
have
deal breaker.
the random assignments this year, so individual people don't end up joining a room with people trying to get together.
Yeah, so there's actually spots for random. So if you have I know every year we have a couple people in our departments that are like, oh, I don't care, like I'm new, I'm down to make new friends. Please have them go to the random tab. Like there's actually random tabs on the, like you'll see them when I actually make the hotels available for you guys, so you'll be able to view them. There's a tab that actually says like random female only or random male only, right? And same thing with co-ed. It says co-ed, and that's how you can get to those. So they're properly like marked, so that way you know where you're going. There's even one for day -2 and -1. Yeah.
I just want to confirm based on these numbers that you are actually going to be covering like monetary cost.
Mhm.
You'll be covering less if they do not stay at the Westin. Is that correct?
Yeah, if they're doing co-ed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some people like to stay fancy.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll do like the JW or like the Ritz-Carlton, and so we reimburse the $25 a night for up to 4 nights, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people do Airbnb. I've actually had a couple people do that where it's actually cheaper in the long run, where they're like, oh, like I only need to be reimbursed like $80, and I was like, oh, for sure, that's cool. But if you're doing co-ed at the Westin, then we'll be handling that. But if you're staying somewhere else, then it's the $25 a night for up to 4 nights. Other questions about hotels? No? Okay, cool. So the next thing is VR dates. As you can see, June 1st is the schedules are due. This is really important for me because I'm actually starting a new program for you guys. This year we're going to be doing a voucher program. So I don't know how many of you guys noticed on your badge last year there was that QR code in the corner. Yeah, some of you guys noticed it. So that QR code was me testing last year to see if we could do it where vendors would be able to scan your badge to give you a meal. So instead of having to worry about it being cash where it's only $40 and it doesn't cover the entirety of the event, we would be covering 2 meals for you guys a day from the time you start.
2 meals a day?
Yeah.
Jerome.
So I'm working on this program for you guys. What it's going to be is Hall K will be open to you guys as well as food trucks in the back. So there'll be one in South and there's going to be one in West. So that way I cover both areas. If you're in Concourse, you get to choose. I'm working with the vendors right now to hopefully get menus for you guys so I can actually publish the menus prior to you guys, being on site, so you don't waste time going to like the West Hall food trucks and realizing you don't like anything and then having to make that mad trek over to South Hall. So at least you guys can know like what areas you want to go to. But I need you guys to make sure that you get your schedules in because it's based off of, who's going to be coming on what days when I'm activating it, right? So they're coming in on day -2. I need to know that they're coming in on day -2 so that way I can make sure their credits are populated in their account so they can actually use, the system and get food. But if they're coming in on day 0, I need to know that they're doing that so that way I can activate it then. The way that I'm working, the way that I'm working with it is that it's going to be, I'm working with Shiftboard because this is actually a Shiftboard function that I've been trying to play around with for a while. And I actually got the budget for it this year, so I'm super excited. Pretty much what it'll be is it'll activate 4 hours before your shift, and then it'll expire 24 hours after it's activated. Right? So if your shift starts at 2 p.m., your credit will activate at 10 a.m. Right? So you have full 4 hours to get your food prior, or it'll expire 10 a.m. the next day. Right? You've earned it, so use it. Over here
So,
first.
just to make sure I understood, basically instead of cash, we're basically getting a QR code, and we scan the QR code at whatever food truck or vendor truck we go to, and that gives us our...
Your meal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, can I have cash instead in case I want to go to the food trucks across the street?
No. Hi. Yeah, go for it.
Thank you.
Okay. Worst case scenario.
Yes.
If it breaks.
So worst case scenario, if it breaks, is then your badge doesn't work?
I mean if there's a system error, do you guys have a backup plan?
Yeah, I've been working on it for a while.
Okay, alright.
So if you want to know my backup plan, I actually have incidental cards for you guys.
Okay.
So handle, so let's say for whatever reason your badge doesn't work, you don't get turned away, you'll get a meal. Okay, but please make sure that you come back to my group at a certain point in time to say hey, my badge isn't working, so that way we can troubleshoot it for you guys.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't go down because I'm putting hotspots in those areas, and it's the app runs off of both Apple and Android devices.
Okay.
Yes.
When you say incidental cards, you mean one for each of us, or
No,
one that the
on my
vendor
end.
will have?
On my end.
Okay.
And so,
I know you're finance and you're totally thinking about this. I can see it all in your face. I've worked with Ann.
We need money for everyone.
Yeah, I've been working with Ann on this for a month.
Okay.
And a half, well actually more than that. So
I know.
it's been way more than that. It's been a minute.
At least with me, if I were in the situation in which mine didn't work, I might just pay cash and then hope you guys refund me later.
You won't have to because I've got that coverage where you won't have to pay for cash. It'll still come out of our pockets.
Oh, okay, for sure. Just let everyone know because my it doesn't work. Oh well, just $20 here you go.
No. There will be an actual procedure that'll be sent out to you guys staff, right? And then to the vendors as to what to do, and then I also have my people moving around in the areas to make sure everything's smooth for our first transition.
Okay.
So, like, we've got it covered where it won't just be like, oh, hey, well, my badge totally didn't work. Okay, well, here's my $20, and I'm just gonna walk away now with my food and be sad. Like, that's not what's gonna happen.
Okay, good.
Does someone have a question?
So, as you know, with like LP, we have multiple 4-hour shifts. So is it just going to be based off the first shift they have that day?
No, it's based off of it's uploading 2 credits a day.
So it's because you said you'll open the credit 4 hours before. Are you saying 4 hours before the previous day?
It'll
are you
be
saying 4 hours before they start their first shift.
4 hours before they start their first shift. So the one will open, and the other one's like a time release. It'll open after your next shift. Does that make sense? So if you have a shift at 2, right? You'll have one that opens at 10. And let's say your next shift starts at 6. The other one will open at 2.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
So is it 1 credit per shift, or let's say, okay.
1 credit per shift.
For 4-hour shift?
Yeah. Because you guys shouldn't be working past 8, hopefully. I know. We're working on that. Yeah,
You
Ezra.
say it's 1 credit per 4-hour shift, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Because access control, we actually use a lot of 2 and 3-hour shifts as well. So would they still get credit for that? Even though they do end up working 8 hours the entire day, but we'll have like a 2, and or a 3, and 3, and a 2, or something along those lines.
Okay, then I'll work with Leo
Okay.
on how to populate your guys's.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just go and hit up all the division managers and be like, hey, what are your usual schedules like? So that way I make sure that it still populates.
Okay. Cool.
So it triggers 4 hours before a shift.
Yes.
Because you know how volunteers are required to work 40 hours, right? But then you subtract pre-con hours. So here's the thing, you know, I might have a volunteer that might only get to work 32 hours during con, but they're there for 5 days.
I'm still gonna populate the day.
Okay, all right. That's okay.
Still gonna populate the
Okay,
day.
all right.
I don't want someone to go hungry. The goal is to not go hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have answered it with his question, but with my department, our last 4 hours of of a shift would end at like 12 a.m.
Yeah.
So
food trucks still run till 2.
What?
Okay, question. How early are the food trucks gonna be open?
I'm working with them on that time now. I'm hoping to aim for like 8. I know some people come in at 7, but I need to give them time to preps too. So I'm trying to get as close to the time that everybody usually starts or they come on site. But that's just kind of down to whether the vendor can be ready or not by that time. Yeah.
Is it like a fast pass where the first one populates and then it's active for the entire day, or does it like expire at some point?
It's active for the entire day. It'll expire whenever it activates. It'll expire the next day at that time.
Okay.
So 24 hours.
Yeah.
Is there a price cap?
It is. Like, I know, like, it's not gonna, like, cut off on you at, like, 11:59 p.m. and be like, sorry, sucker. Like, it's not. That's not what it's gonna do.
Is there a price cap on the credit?
Well, you guys don't have to worry about the price cap. Like, that's for me. You get one, like, if you want to YOLO through it because you have 2 credits and you want to buy 2 meals at once, like, YOLO through it. But it'll show on my side that you YOLO'd. So, but there's not a price cap because there will be meals for you guys that'll be ready for like, oh hey, here are the options for the credits, and I'm working with them to make sure that it's like a main dish, a side, a drink, and like a good meal item. Like it's not gonna be like, oh, here's this sad sandwich and a water. Like that's not where it's going.
But sandwiches.
Yeah, the sandwiches are great until like day 3, and then no one wants a sandwich anymore.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We ran out of peanut butter.
Yeah, it's right.
Here's some jelly.
When you use a credit, is it going to use the oldest one? So like if I made my AMs go out for dinner on day 2. Okay.
You don't have to worry about like being like, oh no, pick this credit. It'll use the oldest one.
Okay, so it's the text will be like go out to dinner one night. We'll technically have 3 for the next day.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I've seen it work. So for record, I went to South by Southwest this year to actually check out their system because they do the same thing for their volunteers. Right, only their volunteers, because their show is 2 weeks and it takes over the entire city of Austin. Like they have about 5,000 volunteers, right? So I was actually in the department that watched how all of this worked. So that's why like I can implement this.
Charles wants to know what hours will VR be open on day -2, -1, and 0. I have some staffers working shifts from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. on those days.
Wait, what was the question?
What
Is it
hours
VR?
will VR be open on day -2, -1, and day 0? Because he has staffers working from 8 to 2.
In the morning to afternoon?
In the evening to early morning.
So VR does not stay open past 9.
He's asking mostly to see when they can pick up their badges.
Oh, I'm coordinating that with the division manager. So when I find out when you guys come in, that's when I prep my people. It's like a chain reaction. So if you guys are coming in on day -2 at 8 a.m., that means I have to like get my team ready for 6 a.m.
Sorry.
So it's so true. And then at a certain point, like for the record, like my group will have like a blackout period. Because what happens is that I set up shop in one hotel to give you guys badges, and then I have to relocate to the LACC. So there will be a time where VR is down because I have to actually move everything. I'm really hoping not to. We did it in like an hour and a half. That was magical, but it hurt.
So fun fact, the Volantron, the badge printer, that thing weighs 50 pounds.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And it's very picky about how it eats badges.
It's super picky about how it eats badges.
Yeah, you have to gently urge it to eat the badge, and if it doesn't, it just eats it halfway, and it's like, huh. You have to open it up.
It's just like that.
How many people last year were actually able to feed badges?
It was
3 of us?
you and Marissa.
It was just 2 of us, actually.
It was just the 2 of us?
Yeah.
Just the 2 of you.
No
We
one
were the
else
ones who
learned?
knew how to gently speak to Volantron.
Shh, baby, come on. You can please just one more badge.
That's pretty much how you had to talk to it.
That's pretty much how that works. When you're pumping out like 1,700 badges, and then you're also pumping out badges for additional people who are ads because people dropped, like eventually the badge printer's like, no more, I am done. So it happens. It's fun. It takes me like a month and a half to print out badges.
It makes me
We're
sad.
out of ink on day 0. Or was it day -1?
It was -1 when I finally finished.
Okay, back on topic. So schedules, June 28th is day -2 check-in. So if you are being asked to come in early, then that is your day. It's June 28th because we're on that weird, because we end on a Tuesday this year. It kind of makes things a little awkward when you're thinking of dates. Like I have to keep reminding myself. June 29th is day -1 check-in. June 30th, day 0. I have counts from your division managers already of what they have estimated coming in on those days. So I just now need to know who is coming in on those days. Okay? And then July 4th, please everybody check out of your hotels on time. It would be appreciated. I don't want to pay for extra room charges. And then July 4th is Dead Dog at Lucky Strikes.
Yes.
Do we have a time for when Dead Dog is going to occur?
I have it scheduled for 4 to 9, I believe.
Nope.
Please, if you're like breaking down, because I know not all of you guys get to like just pack up in an hour and leave, please try to like do shifts or something so you can actually enjoy it. Like, it's bowling and like your shoe rental is on us, so you don't even have to worry about that. And I've got little hors d'oeuvres. Like, it's gonna be really nice. I'm proud of this.
Carb party.
So like, please take the time to go and enjoy it. Try. Even if it's for like 30 minutes, you can go stuff your face and like do uns and then walk out. Like, I don't care. Like, just do something. Yes.
Is that the same place we had it in 2011?
Yes.
Okay. Then are they gonna try and encourage people not to stay there 3 hours? Just because I remember back then when we were much smaller, it was still kind of crowded.
So the way I let my representative know was that you guys come in waves, and I've been documenting this for the past couple of years. Okay. You guys come like, oh, it's like 4, first wave, 6, second wave, 8 o'clock, third wave, right? And it's sporadic, and people kind of go home because they're done, and then new people come in.
Okay.
So what there'll be a check-in person at the front, right? But you won't have also the issue of the food being lined up in that aisleway, if you remember. In 2011,
yeah.
Instead I'm actually having their servers walk around with food, so the table won't be there, so there'll be more space.
Oh.
Plus they actually remodeled their venue, so it's a lot more open than it was in 2011.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Makes it, okay.
So there shouldn't be people being like, go home, like, or like you can go anywhere else but here. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about that.
Don't have to go, but you can't stay here.
Yeah. You had a question, Jerome.
Yeah, it was a joke. How many different types of mac and cheese are
You didn't like my mac and cheese part? It's actually not mac and
on
cheese.
paper. It was good on paper, but then it was just like, oh.
It's just more and more mac and cheese. Did you feel like you just never want to revisit your childhood years ever again?
I have two questions from the online people too.
Okay, one sec. So for the food, it's actually like a mixture of hors d'oeuvres. So it's like spring rolls and like buffalo wing bites and sliders, and it's a mixture. It's not just one of the same thing.
That is great. That's wicked.
Drinks will be bring your own or provide your own.
Wait, what? Drinks?
Well, like there, I think it's
Is
like,
it
is there a
drinks or
bar for you
drinks?
to buy drinks?
Yes, there's a bar for you to buy drinks. But that's your
And
money, not ours. I
the
can't remember what
time
you guys
for-
drinking.
The time for when Dead Dog starts again.
I think I have it slated for 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. I need to double check my contract.
Does the bar accept QR codes?
No, the bar does not accept QR codes. I'm so sorry.
What about caffeinated drinks? Not alcoholic drinks. Are you guys covering
Like Monsters?
soda?
The sodas, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, waters and sodas, like the things that aren't gonna get you hammered. I like you can have as much of that as you want, but if you want to get hammered, that's all on you.
I'm too poor for
I like your dog.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
There you
But
go.
is there gonna be a cap on the just sodas and stuff? Because I think it was 20.
I prepared for you guys to eat me out of house and home with soda. I'm prepared.
Okay.
Because yeah, I think one year it was like, oh, well, we hit like our cap for how much soda.
And, like,
Now what do we do? Yeah. Yeah. I budgeted. It was a lot. Yeah.
Back from the food trucks, I have a few members that are vegetarian and vegan.
Covered that too.
And the gluten-free option.
Gotta double check.
Yeah.
Just as a note, I was actually very impressed that you guys took provisions for people who identify as gender neutral or transgender in the hotel accommodation.
Thank you.
I saw that other thing. I'm like, that is awesome.
Thank you.
Hey,
Sorry, minutes.
people online want to get turned.
Tell them my heart them so much. So any questions about like the VR dates over here? No? Yes.
You might have covered it, but I just wanted to clarify. For day -2 co-ed, is there co-ed room options for day -2?
It's the Westin. The Westin is day -2 to 4.
Alright, there's just a contradiction in the letters, and that's why I just wanted to clarify.
I think the initial one I gave you guys as employees, but we ended up swapping it.
Oh, okay.
It should say -2.
No, let me
There's
set it.
2 parts.
Yeah, there's 2 part where it says day
Okay.
for same gender, and then one part that says day -2 through day 4 is for co-ed.
Okay.
So that's why that one's
I'll take a look and I'll push it out again. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah.
So, you said that co-ed is at the Westin, but people that are coming day -2 that are all same gendered, where would they be placed at?
They're at the Radisson.
Okay, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for July 4th, all hotel checkout for all departments, or?
All departments, unless your division manager is letting me know because there's a reason for why someone needs to stay.
And if we have to stay an extra day, will food also be provided for that day?
For that one, it'll be us treating you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's more of like, there's going to be probably a handful. I know like logistics days. Yeah. So I'll be working on that part with you guys.
So if we have groups of people coming in on day -1,
Mm-hmm.
are they pretty much locked into those rooms with those people for the rest of the con?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
It's like playing Tetris with 4 hotels with 1,700 people. So.
And then not all of them are made of 4 blocks like Tetris.
So, like, I know I get the request every year, like, well, can I stay with these people on this day and then change rooms with these people on this day? And what ends up happening is that I confuse, like, the hell out of the hotels. Because they're like, wait, what? You want to do what now? And it's like, yeah, this. And then it ends up botching the entire, like, sheet. And then I have to, like, physically get on the phone and walk them through all of the different people.
So, if a person was wanting to do that, it's better to just go and do it and not tell you or the hotel. theoretically, like paperwork wise.
I mean,
She's saying she doesn't want to hear about it.
yeah.
I'm trying to cover my ears without listening. It's like, yeah.
Cover the microphone.
Well, no, the online people are like, can you show the volunteer fam? And I'm like, are you guys okay with me turning it that way?
Look,
The front row.
It's like, don't look at me.
My managers already know I'm here, so they hear me.
Just point it at Billy.
There we go.
YOLO. Alrighty. So, questions about this over here? No? Okay. On the other side, for May 15th is a super important deadline. Purchase orders are due. If your division manager hasn't told you to get in your purchase orders, please tell your division manager that you need to get in your purchase orders, because finance will not be happy if those purchase orders are not in. Okay. So please make sure that that's in, and it has to be completely done. Like, it has to have approvals and everything. Like, it can't just be like, oh, here's this thought of what I want, and I put it down, but no one's taken a look at it yet. Like, it has to have approvals. Like, I've been hearing this for like 2 months from finance in every employee meeting. So I'm going to like tell you guys, all of it has to be done. Yeah.
And that would be approvals from the division manager?
Mm-hmm. Whoever is the approver. Right? So in some cases, maybe the division managers, in other cases, maybe the director, and then the internal and finance also has to approve it. So there's always at least 2 approvals. So all of it has to be done. So your division manager should tell you, like, hey, it got approved, we're good, right? But if they come back to you like, hey, this part doesn't make sense, like, what is this being used for? Please respond as quickly as possible. Awesome, thank you.
Sounds legitimately quiet.
Focus.
I have people yelling, hi, Mauricio. And hi, Billy.
I have a question.
Yeah?
How do IDs look this year? Because, I mean, are there going to be names, numbers for when people, use them, things like that?
Oh, same format.
Okay.
So you also have your name, your department, the numbers for the access. That helps EES a lot.
What about just the attendees? Yeah, just the guests?
Oh, the attendee badge? I have no idea. It seemed like I saw one proof of it, and it's very similar to the same format. It's just that we changed the color and the design.
Okay. Only because in our department, they give us their IDs in exchange for items.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't have their name on it, we have our own system to keep track of it. I'm just curious if their names are going to be on it. If it's not, then
No, it's not.
That bogs down registration way too hard when you have to print the name on the badge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Besides the meal stipend, do you know if there's any other updates to any of the volunteer perks or manager perks?
Yes. Yes. Toss me that. Thank you. I need a volunteer to help.
I help.
got you.
Okay. Someone be my fam and help me out. Yes.
It is a blanket.
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 Bye-bye.
Girl.
I'll turn it this way, I promise. Alright, everybody seen it this way?
So that's the new 15.
So this is the 15 year, this is my sample that came in. And then I'm turning this way.
Okay.
Oh.
Bye-bye.
That's like 2 sides? Wow.
No. It's super soft. If you want to come feel it later, you can. And then for your guys' other stuff, you guys are getting new jackets for your 5-year. They're a varsity jacket. So for those, the way that it's gonna go this year is anybody who is eligible for their 5-year this year gets first dibs on the jackets. Okay, and then from there, our oldest people, we're gonna switch out their jackets, and then we're gonna move our way up. Huh?
You said switch them out, like trade in?
Yes. You get to trade in your old one. Well, you get to keep it, but I'm getting you a new one.
It's up to you.
That's awesome.
So the way that the jacket works is that it's gonna have a patch, so it's got Anime Expo and staff on it, and then on the back, you guys will be able to do whatever you want with it. So it's got enough space on it for you to be able to do patches and pins. get creative. Like, it's whatever you want to do. It's got like a zipper at the bottom of it and a zipper like on the inside of the jacket, so it makes it easy for you to embroider. Make sense? Yes. And then for the 10-year gift, I'm not phasing that one out yet because I still have way too many laptop bags. Like, because it gets harder as you guys get older, because it's like, oh, did they stay for 10 years? Like, my numbers start to decrease. But I know I do have a couple people who are valid for 15 years right now. And then for the 20-year gift, that's more like a personalized gift that I'm working on. So yeah. Oh, and I got you guys a manager gift, but I'm not telling you what it is yet.
Tease.
So, thank you. I listened.
Dude, I was just happy with the second meal a day.
Yes, question in the back.
Made me happy. Question.
Jerome.
Oh, yeah. I never got my jacket for 5 years. Who do I talk to? I never really even flagged it.
Jerome.
I know. I had.
Oh, come on, man. You're killing me. No, I'm just kidding. Just come by and pick it up this year.
Where?
VR.
VR as in at con.
At con. So I never have jackets here on site because that is a monstrosity on its own, and I think I'd probably have to get like 2 storage units for it. So what ends up happening is that all of my stuff, like all of my like swag for you guys, comes out of Shepherd and gets dropped into my room, and then from there I hand it out to you guys. So if you have somebody who's eligible for a 5-year or a 10-year or a 15 or a 20, please tell them to come to my room so that way I can give that to them. Otherwise, it's like a logistical nightmare. Like, I had so many like boxes dropped off last year, I made a fort in my room.
We called it Japan.
Nihon.
We did.
I'll point it back at the crowd.
Right? Yeah, you can trade in your own jackets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can trade in your old one, the windbreaker?
Oh, damn.
I guess.
Yeah. But it's gonna be for those who didn't receive a jacket first, get to go first. Because they haven't gotten a jacket yet. And then from there, if you have your old windbreaker and you're like, hey, I've been here for X amount, cool, we swap it out. But this is in like phases, because there's a lot of you.
So the question, Kenya.
Yeah, where are you?
With those varsity jackets, you are carrying the larger sizes, right?
Yes, I ordered up to 6L.
That's
I thought about it. I made like half of the employees put on a tester jacket.
They went a little small, right?
Well, I'm ordering the 5X and the 6X in a different style. It's a customization, the customized one for sizing.
They're cool.
Yeah.
We had a really big one. We fit 3 of us in it. It was fun.
Putting Meg in it was hilarious. Yeah.
Tiniest
We realized we could probably fit her in the port pocket.
So then the deadlines, so there's a purchase orders, then please make sure you get your layouts and your radio and hotspots in and your cell phones to your division managers because operations is collecting that. Please make sure you stick that deadline because then the operations will be sad because it's a lot of work on their end. Yeah.
We sad with a capital S.
And a smiley face in the middle of the A.
Sad face in
And
the
the
middle
D
of
has
the
a
day.
smiley face, a sad face. It's upside
D
down.
is a sad face.
No, smiley face.
Other questions? Yeah.
When is the palette party and the walkthrough?
So that's actually not in my court to book because I don't speak to the LACC directly. That's actually operations. But I believe it's scheduled for the beginning of June. I actually need to talk to Leo to see what the dates are if they've been solidified so that way I can actually push that information out to you guys. Yeah, the idea is for the palette party to be earlier this year and not like a week before con.
Anything else?
Questions? Anything?
Kitties versus bunnies.
The staff barbecue is on the 20th of this month at the same place because you can bring puppies.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's like the highlight for me. I get to see dogs. Like, dogs are awesome. And you guys. Don't forget you guys. The puppies. No, I'm just kidding. Questions?
Kenya.
Yeah, Kenya.
I got a question with the credit.
Yeah.
For crews that are not stationed at the convention center, they have to go to the convention center in order to use their credits?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't extend that far up because it runs out of real estate for parking.
I think he's more talking about GR stuck at Weston.
Yeah, GR stuck at Weston, but like with the construction that's happening up in that area, there's not really a space for me to make camp. So like when I did my planning for the voucher system, the real estate that I had that would keep attendees from seeing it was the back of the LACC and Hall K.
Okay.
So you guys won't have attendees in your line either. Like it's just you guys and like exhibitors if they're like, dude, I'm like really hungry. But there's no attendees.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
For people that are opting out of the hotels, are they just gonna get commuters? They're getting parking at the Radisson, and they have to take the shuttle up there.
Yeah.
Is it if that's only for themselves, right?
For each
their
person?
car?
For their car?
Like if they're a commuter, they're by themselves, then it's per car.
Okay. Yeah.
What's it like for day -2 and -1?
For parking?
Yeah.
You also be parking at the Radisson.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I've got I believe Matt told me that I've got a van for you guys for day -2 and then shuttle starting day -1. So no worries about trying to get dropped off at the LACC. Yeah.
On the hotel like survey form, the Google form that was sent out, it was a little bit confusing because they had like the hotel preference page and then also had like the carpool preference page. So some of my volunteers were wondering like how parking would work if like maybe 5 of us were all staying at the Radisson, and then we would all carpool there. We would get parking for like the one car.
For that
right?
one car, yeah. If you guys are all carpooling together.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that questionnaire, like, was meant to see what you guys needed to then see if I can make that happen. Yeah.
So all the people that are staying at Weston, parking is at Radisson, and then we need to figure out on our own how to get.
There's a shuttle that runs up it. That goes from the Radisson to the Weston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the days that you guys are moving in, as in moving into your hotel rooms, we're planning to give you guys access to where you park at the Radisson, and then from there you get shuttled up to your hotel.
Oh, okay.
So that way you're not like trying to wheel like your stuff like down the street or like be like, oh, I need to now get bum a ride to the LACC to then get to like my next destination. Like we're trying to make it where we can move you guys in with as little like difficulty as possible.
But that's only on the first couple of days. Only it's not going to be throughout the whole convention.
Once we get to day 1, we're now having more buses, right? Because now we're connecting to all the other hotels too. But for day -2 to 0, the routes are going to be for you guys to be able to move to the dorms or the Freehand or the Weston.
Okay, so would the bus pretty much be making a big loop around?
I think the way that Matt has it planned, it's going to have the LACC as the connecting point. So that way you're not on it for like an hour.
Oh.
Right? Because if you think about it, if we do a big loop, that's going to take a very long time. So we're trying to make it where like there's connecting pieces between those hotels.
I have a question from Arlene.
Yeah.
Is that LACC van on day -2 stopping at all hotels?
What do you?
I don't know.
The only hotels that are active on -2 are the Weston and the Radisson. So it would be those 2 locations. The Freehand doesn't activate until 0, and same thing with the dorms. Yeah.
So with that on day -2, so anybody come on day -2, so they will not be at the Freehand then?
No,
Okay.
they won't be at the Freehand.
I think that's why she was asking, because we have a lot coming on day -2.
Yeah, I got numbers from all the division managers to kind of estimate how many of you guys are coming in on -2 and -1, especially because of pre-show. Like a lot more of you guys are coming in early as opposed to my usual 100. Like roughly my numbers are like 1615, like 615 for day -2, and then I have like 1,000 and something coming in on -1. So pretty much a majority of you guys will be there starting -1 instead of 0. Yay. VR goes yay.
As far as the commuters go, is that on the survey so that you know who's going to commute and who's not going to commute, or do they need to put that on their shift board?
It's gonna be put on shift board, but I'm also gonna probably send out a form for you guys
Okay.
to fill out. I'm still working with all the spaces that I have and the parking with the Radisson. So I should have enough parking because I get like X amount of spaces plus then sometimes I get comp spaces too because I've bought out so many rooms. But I will be working with everybody to know who's coming in from where.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll probably see another box show up on shift board or something.
Alright.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, the vans are only going for day -1 and -2.
-2.
Or
Is the only day for the van and then the shuttles actually activate.
Okay, and then it's to Weston and Radisson only? Okay, thank you.
And then just to clarify, because I remember this was mentioned at the manager meeting, because I know this question is going to come up.
Yes.
If it's not the Westin for co-ed, the hotel you can put in is random on day 0, right? There's no requesting a specific hotel.
There's no requesting a specific hotel. Yeah. Because the hotels give me the dates that I can input you guys, so I try to stay within those dates. Like I can't just go like, oh, hey, this person's coming in from this date to this date. Like they actually give me the dates in my contract of when I can actually start to fill people into that hotel room or that hotel. So I have to follow those guidelines. So you can't just be like, oh, I want the dorm starting on -2. Yeah.
Oh, so you said earlier the shuttles on day -1 will only go to the Radisson and the Westin. So does that mean they're not going to the dorms?
No, the shuttles. Sorry, the shuttles activate on -1, and then more shuttles activate on 0 for attendees. So like ours will be in full swing, starting on -1. But for -2, because that was a concern, it's going to be a van. Yeah.
And I know it's been answered before, but for the Westin, the card gets charged at the end on day 4 or in the beginning, day 0?
It's not the end of your stay. So the way hotels do it is that they don't charge you to the end, just because what if you ordered room service?
Oh.
Like it's all on your bill at once. So, yeah.
So you just mentioned that there's no like selecting what hotel you want. So what was the purpose of the hotel selection on that one? Was that just like to get a rough estimate?
That was to get a rough estimate.
Okay.
Like all of that was just me trying to collect data.
Okay.
To then see how I could work with the resources that I have to meet it in the middle.
Okay, so like whatever like my volunteers selected actually doesn't matter then.
Not fully, no.
Okay, so like how does the hotel selection work? This is my first year as a manager, so I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know how it works.
So there was a procedure that went out for hotel selection.
Yeah.
It's based off of same sex. So for same sex, it's broken down into 2. Whether you're gonna the friends that you want to stay with, or whether it's random. So on your shift board account in the calendar, you guys are gonna go to June 29th, and you're gonna see all of them populated there when I release them at 7 on the 8th, right? So it'll say female only 4 to a room, right? Or female only 2 to a room, because the dorms do have apartments where it's just 2 beds instead of 4, right? So it's like a 2-bedroom or a 2-bed apartment. And then you'll have the ones that'll say random, female only, right? And then if it's co-ed, it's gonna say co-ed, and that's the Westin, because the Westin's the only hotel that we're doing co-eds at. And then there's the freehand, and the freehand is the one that I've made primarily random, because that one actually has it with the way that the freehand's set up is sometimes there's a room of like 6 to 8 people. The freehand's very interesting in how it has it set up. It's a hotel that popped up that we have in our block.
Google it.
You can Google it.
Okay, so if there's like 3 to a room, then that might get backfilled with the random, right? Like if you select 4 to a room and you only have 3 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then it might get backfilled with the random at the end. Yeah, but if you like come up with somebody like, oh, well, this person wants to room with me too, then hopefully that spot's available, because I've got a section for people who don't care who they're rooming with.
Question: do we have in and out privileges for parking?
Yes.
Please don't lose your parking pass.
Yeah, please don't lose that. That's really important. And then have to go to the Radisson and talk to them, and they're not always thrilled.
And if you get a parking ticket, we can't help you.
Yeah, I can't help with that. Other questions?
They'll be free until 1.
Well, hopefully your guys' food is here soon. I ordered pizza.
Do we have to scan a QR code for that?
No, not this time. I haven't printed out your guys' badges yet.
The printer hasn't yelled yet, so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to Adam and be like, hey, you have to help me talk sweet words to the printer again.
Whisper sweet nothings into this printer.
Yeah, I'm just gonna borrow you for like 2 days. It's fine.
Well, I'm coming in, if it got set up right, I'm in on -2.
It got set up.
Well, not today.
Well, no.
I have my badge scripts ready.
You do. It's a lot of process.
But I'll only be there half the day on -2 because we're having to do a random thing to get the AV truck there on day -2.
That's fine. You got your stuff. You're set up. For reference, so we had when we did our ASD last year, so all staff dinner. Robin Dobashi won the MVP, so she won the trip to Japan, right? So Robin's doing that. But it was a really close call between Robin and Adam. So we actually made like an award for Adam, and it's not something that to set the standard that is happening every year. But this is one of those things where like the people who decide who gets the MVP like had a tough time making the decision. So Adam got the first mate award because we were pirate themed last year. So he has a hotel room for himself this year as his prize.
Get on his level, guys.
I don't know, that's a lot of hours.
Shut up,
And then you
actually counted it in chipboard. I was over
You too can learn how to
350
talk
hours
nicely
last
to the
year.
badge printer.
Good question. Yeah, do you know when the programming schedule of events will be live?
No, that's programming. That's not me. I'm hoping that they're gonna get it out sometime this month, so that way you guys can actually take a look at it before submitting your schedules. But the moment I know, like, I will inform you guys.
I'm just gonna
So.
sit here and laugh if you wanted to.
The freehand has a rooftop pool up there.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't it just like
You'd be
freshly
bougie.
remodeled?
It's like I think it's like either a remodeled hotel or
They
like they
just
tore
rebuilt
something
the whole
down
thing.
and built something up. But it's supposed to be like.
So I remember one of the
a thing.
hotels
It
we had
looks really
opened in
cool.
like next month.
There's some bunk beds.
Bunk beds.
Yeah, there's like 6 to 8
There's
rooms.
like really bougie wooden bunk bed
Yeah,
things,
it's super-
like with cubbies and stuff built into them. And it's just like, oh.
Oh, sounds like college.
No, but like
Yeah.
it's like nice.
See, that with so much emphasis. Sounds like
So,
college.
fun fact, my first bunk bed in college didn't have the guardrail, and I didn't know it was supposed to have a guardrail. And I fell off many times. And then the room next door to me, their bunk bed didn't have the ladder. And they didn't know they were supposed to have a ladder.
Yeah, UCI.
Yeah. So we walked into each other's rooms like, there's supposed to be a guardrail? There's supposed to be a ladder? I was like, what have you been doing? Climbing up the desk. What have you been doing? Falling off?
That's a good story.
See where all the money doesn't go in UCI.
Yeah.
So you steal part of their bed to make yours whole, right?
And the other person's just what?
No. And
Yes.
then the other one is destroyed enough to get a new one.
You have no
Right.
guardrail and no ladder.
Makes it easier to get on.
Make it out of all your
Because then you can just jump up, right? You don't have to
Go over the
You don't
guardrail.
have to vault over the guardrail.
I'm assuming.
There's only like
Huh?
3 feet between the bed and ceiling.
Any other things to go over? Any questions?
How much of this is going to be reviewed at the volunteer meeting in like an hour?
I'm pretty much doing the same thing. Like it's a lot of information, so there needs to be that talk through. Yeah. Well, if it's not raining, I'm hoping that like we can do it outside because I can pretty much do this from memory at this point. But this information will be coming out in a sheet too. So, anybody have any questions? Anything? All right. If you guys have any suggestions or feedback, please feel free to pop by. Your guys' pizza should be here soon. I had it scheduled for pickup at noon. With offer this was gonna run over. Bye, puppy.
Puppy wants to go now.
Go outside to anybody's well.
Jackie.
Yeah.